you're not walking out of this courtroom today. Either you're going to be going to prison or either you're going to be going to inpatient treatment. You're going to get drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
They will come back a positive.
Positive for what?
Methamphetamine. I just do it when I'm under stress. So I know I have a problem and I don't do it like around my children. I don't do it, every day. It's just, when I'm under stress and I was, really scared. So, and really under stress. So I don't do it when I go to work. I don't do it, every day, like I said.
I'm going to find her guilty, sentence her to.
Let's set the scene for a second, because this courtroom moment starts with a warning that immediately changes the entire mood in the room. The judge
All right, we're here for sentencing today. According to the plea bargain agreement, she pled no contest to count 2 of the indictment. She applied for deferred adjudication. The state is proceeding only on count 2 according to the plea bargain agreement. Punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison, and the state is silent on the defendant's application. The court requested that the defendant's criminal history be provided to the court. There were no objections to the court receiving that from the state. Is that correct?
Correct.
And any objections to the court reviewing that?
No, Judge, of course not.
All right. The state is silent. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, of course, Ms. Torres is hoping you'll grant her application for deferred. She's in self-employed cleaning houses. She has several customers that rely on her. She has a few kids. She's just asking for the court to maybe direct her to some outpatient treatment because she believes she needs some help with this problem. And other than that, again, she's just hoping you'll grant her application.
All right. You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Missy Ann Torres.
All right. So you're going to get drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
They will come back a positive.
Positive for what?
Methamphetamine.
All right. So how often are you using meth?
I only do it when I'm under stress, and I did it because I could get denied for adjudication, so
I'm sorry, what?
I could get denied the application, so I just was I just do it when I'm under stress. So I know I have a problem, and I don't do it like around my children. I don't do it, every day. It's just when I'm under stress and I was really scared, so and really under stress. So I don't do it when I go to work. I don't do it, every day, like I said.
looks directly at this woman and makes something very clear. She is not walking out of that courtroom today. There are only 2 places she's going, prison or a lockdown treatment program.
So how many children do you have?
I have 3.
What are their ages?
11, 8, and 5.
And where are they now?
2 of them are with their dad and 1 is with my grandma.
All right. With your grandmother. So their great grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So do you help take care of your children?
Yes.
How
I-
often?
I see them every other weekend, and I don't pay child support, but I pay them, my exes, and I have my daughter. My daughter is with me.
No, you just said your daughter is with the
Yeah,
great
but
grandmother.
I live with my grandmother. This was it.
All right.
So I help take care of her. She
All right.
helps me take care of her.
Okay. So 1, I don't think it's appropriate for you to be cleaning houses
Okay.
because of the nature of this offense. And 2, I don't think it's appropriate for you right now to be taking care of your children.
That's why I'm asking for help, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what?
That's why I was asking for help, Your Honor. That's why.
All right, your help is not going to be outpatient treatment if I grant this application for deferred adjudication. So you're going into custody today.
Okay.
All right. So it's just a matter of what I'm going to do with you. I will tell you the court's issue, and if you want to address this, I know the state is proceeding on count 2 of possession, but she had a lot of drugs with her.
No.
So I don't understand, if you're working homes, then why do you have a scale with you? Because that's, according to this, you had drugs, you had a scale in your purse, and there were baggies totaling 32.0 grams.
Well, Your Honor, I was a heavy user back then, and it was.
Oh, you're not, I tell you what, I don't think, and if I'm wrong, correct me. I don't think you were using 32 grams of meth.
It was only 28.
No, you have meth here for 4.964 grams, and you also have meth for 27.459 grams. And what you pled to and count two was a possession 4 to 200 grams. So this is not a possession 1 to 4. So we're talking about 27 grams. And according to the stipulations, that what was found in your bag, it says, I searched her bag and inside a Paris Hilton makeup bag box were baggies, a scale, and crystal-like substance inside a cut vacuum sealed bag. That's from your Paris Hilton makeup bag.
That's it. No third option. And right away, the judge asks a question that honestly stops the whole room cold. You're going to be drug tested today. What are the results going to be? And without much
So what I had, the meth was it was double bagged in a sandwich bag. So yes, ma'am, I know it was 20, but it's because that was my personal. I didn't have any other. And last time I went, they tried to only give me which was 14 grams. So I had to.
No, what I'm telling you is, they said the baggie found in Robert's pocket tested positive for meth and had a field weight of
That was
6.12
Robert,
grams.
that wasn't mine.
No, I'm not saying that was yours. So the 6.12 grams that were found in his pocket, they're saying that was his. It was in his pocket. But the baggie, which was found in Missy's purse, tested positive for meth and had a field weight of 32.09 grams. Now, mind you, what they do in the field, I already know that testing drugs in the field are not legal for court. So I'm not considering the weight and what they said in the field. I'm considering what has been given to me for laboratory reports. So this was the professionals testing it, not a presumptive. And it says 27.459 grams was the net weight of the meth that you had in your Paris Hilton bag.
Yes, Your Honor. And I will say that I used to use a whole ounce within 2 to 3 days. So I was a heavy user, and like I said, they tried to give me half of that the last time, and right now it's going for 250. So if I'm paying 250, I wanted the whole thing. I wanted to make sure. I'm just being honest, and I'm sorry. Excuse me for being.
No, I
transparent.
want you to be honest and I want you to be transparent.
I'm sorry for being transparent, but it's something that I feel like I worked for my money, and I didn't want just to get gypped again. I can promise you I didn't sell anything. It was because I've been gypped many times. So I did get it. Now it was double bagged because I don't know, that's the way they gave it to me. I can't, and it is my mistake and I'm taking full responsibility, but I wasn't selling drugs. I wouldn't. I said, I have a job, and back then I was, a heavy user where I would just do it before work, after work, and I didn't have my children in my life. Now I do have my children back in my life, and I'm trying to be a good mom. So I thank you for, giving me an inpatient program.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'm going to give you
Oh, I'm
inpatient.
sorry.
What I'm saying is that you're not walking out of this courtroom today. Either you're going to be going to prison or either you're going to be going to inpatient treatment. So it's very important that you be 100% honest with me, because I'm telling you, the state proceeded on a possession, but the amount of drugs you had and the way they were packaged, that's concerning for the court. So you're saying that you just bought a bunch of meth and you were saving it up for use?
So I would use within 2 to 3 days, that was all my personal. Like I said, they tried to sell me half of that one time, and I went back to the same person, but I said, I'm gonna weigh it myself to make sure I'm getting the right amount, because it's just, I'm an addict. I'm sorry, I am. And we're not.
So you travel with your own scale?
Well, at the time I did, because like I said, I've been gypped, and when you're an addict, that's all you think of, just how to get, make sure you're getting what you need.
much hesitation, she admits it. The test will come back positive. Positive for meth. Right there, in open court. No excuses, no dodging the question. But then comes the explanation that really raises eyebrows.
And honestly, I can see where I made my mistake, but I won't, I'm being honest with you. it was my skeleton measure, so my personal, that's it. And I don't know if Robert would tell you that was my personal as well. Like, I mean, I don't want to call him or anything you can if you want to, but he would tell you that's what I used to pick up.
Oh, no,
every
I'm not gonna be
Thursday.
calling Robert because Robert probably has a case of his own.
Right. But I'm saying Robert can tell you too, within 3 days, maybe 2 to 3 days, really, it would have been gone and I would have been back doing it again. Now I don't. It was kind of like a stress thing. And
Where did you get your drugs to use today before you came to court?
Just an old friend. I hadn't talked to him since, and it was on Saturday when I knew it was, coming, and I guess I felt, under pressure.
If I
Yes.
say something, I think the fact that she would actually go out and do the same drugs that she's about to get sentenced for in a couple of days, I think really speaks to the fact that she has a serious addiction problem that I think only rehab can treat. And if you decide that's ISF or SATF or SAFE, we understand that, but I think she really needs treatment.
All right, this is what the court is there anything else for me to say? All right, this is what the court is gonna do. I see that she hasn't been to prison before. I'm gonna find her guilty, sentence her to 6 years in the prison, the therapeutic community. There should be no contact with Robert Marble, give her credit for any time served, and I'll retain jurisdiction.
She says she doesn't use all the time. According to her, it only happens when she's stressed. She insists she doesn't do it around her kids, she doesn't do it every day, and she doesn't do
Okay.
And you can explain to her what that means. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. I'll tell them. So here's the thing. When I say that I'm going to retain jurisdiction, what that means is they're going to take you to prison. If you're following the rules at the prison, if you're working on yourself, because they have programs at the prison, your attorney can file a motion. It's called shock probation. Back when I was growing up, they would have scared straight programs. So shock probation is sort of a scared straight program. So hopefully when you go to prison, you will clear your mind.
Yes.
The drug use or the addiction that you have, the craving that you have will be lifted. And if you are doing what you're supposed to do at the prison, if there are no bad reports at the prison, when your attorney comes back for a request for shock probation, I will strongly consider it. So while you're at the prison, you have 180 days. That's when he needs to bring it back before me before that time period. So you're going to do 6 months. And if you are doing well, if there are no write-ups against you, then the court will strongly consider giving you probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, well, I mean, these are going to be choices that you make. It's going to be completely up to you whether or not I strongly consider giving you probation. Your attorney will explain it to you further, but any programs that they have at the prison, like the therapeutic community, to address your issue, you need to take it. I know they have parenting classes at the jail. I don't know how long the transfer will be, but you need to take advantage of that. When you see people come before me and they've gone to anger management class, they've done parenting classes, they've availed themselves of everything at the jail and everything at the prison, that is what you need to do. You need to immediately sign up for it. If for some reason there's overcrowding and they don't give it to you, it would be better for you to have signed up for it than to just throw up your hands and say, I'm not trying. Do you understand?
Yes.
And next time, if you have a case before any judge, don't use before coming to court. You understand? But I do appreciate your honesty, but you're going to have to get your life in order. Otherwise, children is going to be without their mom. You understand? All right. Good luck to you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
it before work. It's just something she turns to when life gets overwhelming. Now, you can almost feel the tension in the room at that moment, because when someone admits to using a drug that serious, and then tries to soften it by saying it's only occasional, people start asking questions. This case isn't small either. The woman standing there is facing serious drug charges, and the stakes are incredibly high. She's looking at 6 years in prison if things go the wrong way. The judge begins reviewing the plea agreement. She had entered a no contest plea to one count in the indictment, and the state is recommending a 6-year sentence. However, the defense is asking for something very different. They're hoping the judge will grant deferred adjudication, which would give her a chance to avoid prison if she successfully completes probation and treatment. Her attorney explains that she's self-employed cleaning houses, that she has clients who rely on her, and that she has children she wants to be present for. The defense paints a picture of someone who needs help more than punishment. Their argument is simple: give her treatment instead of prison. So the judge decides to hear directly from her. She raises her hand, swears to tell the truth, and the questioning begins. The first thing the judge wants to know is about her drug use. She admits again that she used meth recently and that today's test will show it. Then she tries to explain her situation. She says stress pushed her back into using. She says she knows she has a problem, and she repeats over and over that it's not something she does constantly, just when things get overwhelming. Then the judge shifts the conversation toward her personal life. She has 3 children, ages 11, 8, and 5. 2 of them are living with their father, and the third is staying with the child's great-grandmother. She says she still sees them every other weekend and tries to help support them financially. But as the details come out, it becomes clear that her life is complicated and unstable. The judge listens carefully, but you can sense that the court is looking beyond the words and focusing on the reality of the situation. And then the judge brings up something that completely changes the direction of the hearing. Because this case isn't just about someone using drugs. According to the police report, when officers searched her purse, they didn't just find a small personal stash. They found baggies, a scale, and a significant amount of methamphetamine, more than 27 grams confirmed by laboratory testing. That's not a tiny amount someone might casually carry around. That's the kind of amount that raises serious questions in any courtroom. Now the judge leans forward and asks the question everyone is thinking: if she's just cleaning houses for a living, why was she carrying a scale and multiple bags of meth in her purse? And that's the moment the courtroom gets very quiet, because whatever answer comes next could determine whether this woman walks into a treatment program or straight into prison. Now this is where the hearing really starts to tighten up, because once the judge starts reading the actual evidence out loud, the story suddenly becomes a lot harder to explain away. The lab report confirms it. Inside the defendant's purse was a makeup bag containing multiple baggies, a scale, and crystal-like substances that tested positive for methamphetamine. And not a tiny amount either. The lab confirmed over 27 grams. In courtroom terms, that's not pocket change. That's a quantity that immediately raises concerns about distribution, even if the charge on the table is technically possession. So the judge presses her again. If you're just a user, why carry a scale? Why carry multiple bags? Why have that much of it on you at all? And the defendant's answer is honestly surprising. She claims the drugs were all for her personal use. According to her, she used to be a heavy user, someone who could go through extremely large amounts in just a couple of days. She even explains that the reason she had a scale was because she didn't trust the people selling to her. She says dealers had shorted her before, so she started bringing a scale to make sure she was getting what she paid for. Now think about that for a moment. Her argument to the court is basically this: she wasn't selling drugs. She was just a very heavy user trying to make sure she didn't get cheated. It's one of those explanations where you can almost feel everyone in the room processing it at the same time, because while addiction can absolutely lead people into desperate situations, carrying around baggies and scales is exactly the kind of detail prosecutors point to when they're trying to show intent to distribute. But the judge doesn't interrupt her. Instead, the judge lets her keep talking. And the more she talks, the more the story starts to unfold. She says back then she didn't have her children around as much, and she admits she was using before work and after work regularly. She insists she wasn't selling anything, just buying in larger amounts so she wouldn't get ripped off again. She apologizes repeatedly and says she's trying to be transparent with the court. Then the judge pauses and makes something crystal clear. The court isn't convinced. Yet. Because even if the charge they proceeded with was possession, the amount and the packaging are extremely concerning. The judge explains that this is exactly why honesty matters right now. Because the decision coming next is serious, either prison or a treatment program that will still involve custody. So the judge asks again, directly, are you telling the court that you bought a large quantity of meth and kept it packaged like that simply to use yourself? And she sticks to that story. She says yes. She says it would have been gone within 2 or 3 days. She repeats that she was heavily addicted at the time and that she's trying to get her life back together now. But then something else comes out during the questioning that really catches the court's attention. The judge asks her where she got the drugs she used recently, the ones that will show up in the drug test she admitted to earlier. Her answer? She got them from an old friend, just a few days before the hearing. And that moment is difficult to ignore, because here she is, standing in court, about to be sentenced for meth-related charges, and she had already used the same drug again just days before walking into that courtroom. Her own attorney even acknowledges it. He tells the judge that this situation shows just how serious her addiction problem may actually be. In his view, it's exactly why she needs treatment instead of just punishment. But by now the judge has heard everything. The admissions, the explanations, the lab reports, and the circumstances surrounding the arrest. The room grows quiet as the judge prepares to make a decision, and when the judge finally begins speaking again, it becomes clear that this ruling is going to change the direction of this woman's life.